Hello everyone! Welcome to the 12th day of the 31 Faces of Halloween. Today we are doing a most requested look, which is the Other Mother from Coraline. I've seen so many artists do this look, so it was time for my take on it. I can't believe I haven't done it sooner, so first I'm just outlining how I want the dress and the body to be. She is a weird spider lady, so I'm trying to make the features really skinny. I'm trying to also look from a reference picture to replicate the dress a little bit. So we're going to be doing a lot of negative space. I've done this with a few of my looks where you do the black on the outside and it blends in with the black background. In pictures, at least in the videos, it's kind of hard, but in pictures it totally disappears. So I'm painting in my chest and my neck white. I'm using my Snazaroo face paint for this, and I did about 2 layers of it. Then taking this super old palette I have, it's a Wolfe Face Art in FX water activated paint palette. I'm taking this brown shade and I am filling in the dress. I did take this all the way down my torso, as you saw in the beginning. I'm gonna start shading the chest area now, and I'm taking my Morphe 35C palette, and I'm gonna be using mostly gray shades and this taupey brown shade that you can see I've used quite a bit. And these are the shades I'm going to be using to contour and create some dimension on my chest. And she's got kind of like a skeleton chest where all of her bones are kind of sticking out and they're protruding, and she looks really sickly and weird. So I'm just kind of replicating that, taking the neck down the center and then doing some little lines, like the neck is really stretched out and it's just looks really, really gross. And then I'm also doing a few lines there on my chest to replicate the rib cage poking out. I did take the neck down like that because the part of the dress that's next to the neck, I want it to look like it's behind my neck. And then I'm taking a black and kind of shading up against those lines to create a little bit more dimension. Doing the same process but around the area where the dress is at and where it would be laying on top of our chest, just taking a lighter shade first and then using black right up against those lines. Now I'm outlining the chest area in black paint. I'm using my Mehron Paradise paint and my Beldam Tools SFX brushes. There is a discount code if you look down in the description box, you can find that for those SFX brushes. Also kind of outlining all the lines we did on our chest. This will just make everything come to life a little bit more. And then I did another layer of black there up against that black line we painted. Starting with white dots, I'm just using a really large brush and kind of doing the base for the dots. And then I went in and kind of filled them in with a smaller brush. They don't have to be perfect by any means. And now I'm shading the dress. Like I said, I want it to look like that part of the dress is behind the neck, so I'm shading that a lot. And I'm just shading in other areas to kind of bring dimension so it's not too flat. Anywhere that there might be a little bit of a shadow, I'm adding that with a very dark brown shade and a little bit of black. I'm filling in the arm now. She's like I said, she's a weird spider lady. So I feel like it's bones, but it's also like a weird spider leg. So I'm doing it very, very skinny, and I'm just using the same white paint we use on the chest to fill in that arm. And I did take it down past my elbow. And fill in everywhere else with black paint. You can do 2 layers. I only did 1 layer and I wish I would have done 2, so in the video it looked a little better, but in pictures it looked really cool, so no biggie. Starting on the face, I am creating those little jowls she has, so I'm connecting this part with the neck. She has a very hollowed out face, so I'm just making that straight up black and connecting it with the neck. Then I am just kind of cleaning up the areas down there on my neck to make sure everything's nice and straight. Taking my washable glue stick, I am using this to hide my eyebrows. I've went through this a million times on my channel. Also, this does wash off with water. You do not peel this off, you do not pick it off, you put water on it and it rubs right off. I don't know what people don't get about that. For the buttons, I am going to walk you through this on how I made them. I do suggest using Model Magic for these because these ones I made were a little heavy. They did work though, and they did not fall off. I kept this on for like an hour, and they did not even budge with the way I applied them. But I got some clay from Michael's and I rolled it in a ball. I made sure it was pretty perfect, honestly. And then I flattened it out with my hand on a flat surface, and I kind of created some indents with my fingers so it's kind of protruding a little bit and my eye can fit in there. And then I used the little skinny part, rolled it around, took a straw, poked some holes in it like a button eye has, and then you put this in the oven and you let it sit for about 15 minutes, and you do it at the temperature of about 200 degrees. Now I'm covering up those brows with some translucent setting powder, and I'm just putting the brows on my face to kind of map out the buttons on my face to kind of map out where I need to paint my face at. So I did the holes large enough in the center there that I can see through them, and it wasn't too uncomfortable. My lashes, I wish I would have hollowed it out a little bit more in the center there so my lashes weren't so crushed up, but it worked. It was fine. I was comfortable. I could see through them. No big deal. I also mapped out my lips a little bit, and I just go ahead and start painting my face white. I go around the lips and I go around the eyes. I don't start painting the eyebrows at all yet. For my lips today, I am painting them black, and I'm using my Jeffree Star Velour liquid lipstick in Weirdo. And I'm first using that just for my lips and kind of overlining them and trying to make them as straight as I can. I don't want any curves or voluptuousness at all. Just trying to make them look a little straight, if that makes sense. And then for the rest of the lips there, I take my black paint and kind of connect it all. Again, you want everything to be straight, so from the Cupid's bow, you want that line to be completely straight from where it goes out to your cheeks. You can use the black liquid lipstick if you'd like to for this part, but I find that water-activated paints come off a lot easier than liquid lipsticks do. And then I'm just filling in all around that white. Putting the buttons on my eyes again, I'm kind of mapping out where I could fill in some more, so I am filling in a little bit more of the area white. Because we don't want our skin to show even underneath of the button. And then I'm filling in my lids and underneath of my eyes black, so that way when the buttons are on top of our eyes, it's as dark as it possibly can be. Our eyes are open underneath of the button, so you can see the eyes through the buttonholes if you look very closely. So you could wear like black sclera lenses if you wanted to. I can't wear contacts, so I just kept it my normal eyes. Finishing the painting on my neck, I like to do this kind of last because any movement on the neck will kind of move the paint and it'll make it look messy. And then cleaning up any lines I need to do on the chest there with black paint. Finishing up the face, we're going to start doing the cracks she has. This point on the nose is very important because it makes her look like she has a pointy nose. So it's not actually her nose being pointed, it's just cracks on her nose that give that illusion. I just start randomly going all over my face. I also create some lines there to kind of replicate the shape of a skull on my cheeks and hollow out the cheeks a little bit more than they already are. You can look at a reference picture and go exactly off of that. I was sort of looking off of a reference picture, but I ended up just kind of doing the cracks however I wanted to. So I'm starting off with a gray shadow first and just randomly going all over my face and doing these cracks. And then you can start taking a black shadow and even deepening up those lines a little bit. And now I'm doing her brows. I'm holding up that button to make sure I get enough space between the brows and the button and that they don't get covered up or they're not hidden. She's got some crazy brows, so don't be too scared. And then using that same paint to line all these cracks a little bit to give them some more dimension. And the last little finishing touch you can do for those cracks is just deepening up some of those corners and those cracks and the sides of your nose to make it look a little bit smaller. Also deepen up those cheekbones there. And shade the top of your neck a little bit. Taking my liquid latex, this is Mehron's liquid latex, it's just in a different bottle. And I'm taking a little bit of tissue paper, like a very tiny amount. We're gonna rip up some small parts of tissue, lay down a layer of latex, put the tissue on top, lay down some more latex, and do that on the top and the bottom. You don't need to do it on the sides because it's gonna be open on the sides there. It's not gonna be touching your skin. And then lay the button and press it down onto those papers. I did the tissue, that way the button has somewhere to kind of squeeze onto and lay onto instead of just our skin. It kind of has a bit of a foundation. And just hold it there for about a minute, I'd say. And you're good to go. Do it on the other side as well. And that is my other mother look. Also do a little beauty mark above her lip and you're ready to rock and roll. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. This was really fun for me to do. I had a ton of fun doing this one. Make sure you're subscribed to see all of my Halloween looks. And I'll catch you guys in my next tutorial. Bye!